Hi and welcome. I thought I would give you a bit of an introduction this week to the assignments that we're doing. And the reason we're doing this is because we're starting to get into NETLAB and explore the router a bit. Now I hope to work with a lot of you online so we can see how this works. But not everyone will have that opportunity. So let's go in and take a look at some of the at least one NETLAB exercise in Chapter 6 to give you an idea of how to get going. So, Chapter 6, Class 6 I should say. And it is about the network layer. We'll do a little bit of lecture on that later, but as you can see, we have a lot of packet tracer, exploring network devices, configuring initial router settings. We'll be doing quite a bit of that. In fact, I might move that down past 6.5. But the NETLAB, first NETLAB in here about router characteristics. Let's take a look at this one. Okay. And I'll tell you what, I've already pulled it up. Let me just pull this out of the way. Here is the worksheet that you'll see, and I've pulled up the router and the switch from another lab. We just need the router. Here's the switch. Here's the router. We can use them side by side. And you might have a little bit of trouble reading these pages, but you'll be uploading your own. So just so you know, the first part says examine the router's external characteristics. Here we're looking at some pictures, but you can look at more information about routers at Cisco, but really we're just identifying parts here, different devices. Now I know that you might not be able to draw and circle here, but you can just describe the location of these devices below. You know, the power switch, well, you know, the 1 and 0 kind of gives that away up here, so you can just describe it's in the black box center toward the, left on the upper box, etc. You can just do that to explain where they are. And then you get to look at the lights. Now you're going to have to read the chapter before doing some of this, because there's a lot about compact flash memory, etc., and storage. It's a little bit reviewed here, but it's in the chapter. Then we look at the front devices and the lights, and you have to think a little bit about what they might be. And then we look at the back devices, and I know the pictures can be kind of tough on a computer, but I'll give you a hint. The devices that are lit up here, here, and here, those lights are all about the interfaces. Okay, and then we get down into part 2 where we come in to a router and take a look at some commands. So we come into our router, as you can see. I'll make it a little bigger here. I'll cover the switch. And our first step is to type enable, because we're coming into the router and working. And then enable, we get the command prompt down here with the little hash mark. And then we type show version. The show commands are what tell us about how things are working inside. And we're going to get lots and lots of information here. When you see the more down below, if you hit the return key, you get one line at a time. But if you hit the space bar, you get a whole nother page. So depending on how much you want to see. I think I can get most of this there. Most of the version information we need can be right here on one page displayed like this. So then we have another set of questions over here. Display the information about using the show version, and here's the output that looks like this. Output 2. And so here's a copy of the output and this technology package that comes down below as well. There's all the device IDs, etc. There's a lot that comes in, but we're going to go up here for a bit. So I can scroll back and forth through all of this to find out what I need to see. And I just have 8 questions. And so this is where you start to learn to look at the output when you're looking for information. There's more information than you can digest in one shot, but when you ask specific questions, you can see, well, what version is the iOS image? Well, that's pretty straightforward right up here. All right, the version is 15.3. Now, that's covered a bit in the book too, but we can tell here 15.3, version 15.3. If I spread this out, it's easier to see. Version 15.3, third release. What's the bootstrap version of the ROM BIOS? All right. So if we go ahead and look for the ROM Information System Bootstrap version 15, the processor ID board number. Okay, now when you get into NETLAB, remember these are all different routers, so you might have some different answers. They should all be about the same. All right. So my router has my router time to review. Well, we won't go through this too much. I just want to give you a basic introduction. In the NetLabs, you're going to get all kinds of information going on. So when you get into the NetLab, remember, if you do a copy run start, maybe not in the first 2 labs, that information will be saved for me to look at. So fill out the forms, do them in the NetLab. I can look at your NetLab logs, and we'll get the assignments that way once you upload the PDF. All right, get to it. Thanks.